Good evening, boys and girls. This is your friendly neighborhood Shay coming to you with my first ever rant. Now, as I've mentioned in earlier videos, I have been noticing a lot of video posts regarding dating issues and excuse my kitty dating issues and the reputation of black women especially, and the dynamic between black men and black women. And I feel this is something that's important to take a look at, because there's so many issues that people in general, not just black women and black men have, but people in general have when it comes to dating. And I really have thought long and hard about this particular subject. And there's several reasons behind it. A lot of it has to do with my own personal experiences and trying to find a way to find a way to make it have it make sense. Just because I don't feel that it pans out the way that it should, and I feel like it's something that can be looked at and improved upon. Now, I'm 39, will be 40 at the end of the year, and I have been in just a very limited number of relationships. Now I'm referring to up to and including the whole high school thing, and adult relationships as well. And I feel like there were a lot of recurring things that kept happening. I would notice that guys would pay attention. They would want to talk to me. They, would tell me all sorts of things. They'd tell me what was on their minds, tell me what they want to do. Yeah, we pretty much know how that goes. But it never really got to the point to where I met anyone that was emotionally able to actually make a long-term commitment. And when I say long-term, I mean, something that lasts more than a year. And I personally feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that I honestly fell in love at a very, very early age, and I knew what it was that I truly wanted, what it was that I was looking for. And I think that's one thing that sets me apart. I'm not your typical video vixen type. I go to work, I come home, I hang out with my friends. I like to do certain things, and, I'm pretty quiet. I like to have fun. But I'm not, I'm not like a major club girl. I'm more of a pub girl. And I think that most guys pay more attention to the glitz and the glam, and which is fine, because, there's women that are honestly and truly really good at it. And I can be, I just don't really find it comfortable. I don't really find it a true representation of who I am. So I tend to focus on other things And I tend to want people to take the opportunity to get to know me before they consider, any of my outside attributes. I am in the process of like changing a lot about my physical appearance. I've been uh, working with a personal trainer. I had to take some time off from that because I recently switched jobs, and I was actually between jobs for a very, very long time, and it took a while. So that process slowed down, but I feel like the for me the focus wasn't on like, hey, check me out, I'm all cute and pretty, I have my hair and nails done and everything, and you should talk to me and you should want to get with me because I look good. You know what I mean? I've never been that type of woman. But, I've been the type where, I get to know a guy and I become a really good friend of his, and he tells me, about the problems and things that he has in his relationships. And then I realize, I didn't want to be that girl. So I feel like, okay, what do you do to change that? So I had to flip the script. I had to change things up, and I started, doing things that would give me an opportunity to become more noticed in other areas. And I feel like that so far has been okay. I don't feel like it's gone extremely well, and that is where the rant comes in. I meet someone, and it goes one of two ways. Either I never hear from them, I never get to the point to where, I ask them out or I get asked out by them, and things progress that way, or we get to that point, and just after that point, like, all of a sudden there's no contact. And it can be confusing, and there can be several different reasons why that takes place. And the main thing behind that is the simple fact that expectations that he has, maybe there's other situations that I'm not aware of, things that are going on. It could be any number of things, and it's frustrating to no end, The last guy that I had an experience with, I met him back in 2008, and we were friends on Facebook and the MySpace and all of that for a while, and then he deleted me, and then I like, hey, what happened? And he tells me the reason why he deleted me was because he was in a relationship and felt that I was a temptation. And I'm like, okay, wow. Just because we know each other and we're attracted to each other, whatever, that doesn't mean I'm going to ask you to do something that is going to jeopardize anything that you have going on. I have enough respect for both of us not to do that. And, he was like glad about that. And we, kept it to a minimum. We still were able to keep in touch, but it wasn't something that really had a chance to develop for a long time. And one day out of the blue, he messages me and tells me that he's single and that he would like to give things between us a shot. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, great, and he'd make arrangements to see me, and we'd name the time and place, and the day of, I get a text, oh, hey, sorry, can't make it. But before it's all said and done, he's like trying to reschedule. And then again, the day of, he bails. Something came up, this or that or whatever. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, hey, I understand that things happen, but at some point, you're going to kind of have to actually show up. And, well, we named the time and place, and he actually showed up. And we were able to talk. We actually spent time at my little sister's house. She's someone that lives close by me. And he was there. We were hanging out, drinking. Not a lot, just, a few here and there between the two of us. And we were getting closer physically. I basically mentioned, like, look, I'm staying here for the night, not going back to my place, and I don't, I want you to know nothing is going to happen because we're in somebody else's house, B, in the living room without any real privacy, and there's people that come through all hours of the night, so, no, that's not going to happen. I just want to make sure, hey, you're cool with that. And it was like, yeah, that's fine. And we stayed close, kind of snuggling and smooching a little bit, and then he ended up telling me, that he loved me and that he saw us together and that he wanted me to actually come to his place and spend time with him. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. We actually fell asleep together on the couch, just hanging out. The next day, he gets up and gets ready to leave. He had things to do. And I walk him out to his vehicle, and he says, okay, by the way, yeah, last night I know I might have said some things, and I just need you to know that I didn't mean them. I pretty much take it all back. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, just keep in mind that I asked you if you were pretty sure what you were saying at the time, and, you only had a couple of drinks, so I know it's not like you were just, like, ripped. And that's the reason why you kind of were running off at the mouth with what you were saying. So, yeah, and I'm like, all right, you go ahead and do your thing, and we'll pick up on this later. We'll discuss this. And I basically told him in a message, you know what? I can't ever take anything that you tell me again at face value. I can't ever trust in anything that you say. So if you tell me that you see us as friends or see us becoming more than friends, you want to take your time or whatever, I can't trust you. I don't know, you know what I mean? There's no way I can trust that. And I just, by the time it was all said and done, I'm like, what in the world? And I did have a little help in this situation derailing. Come to find out, my little sister's boyfriend told him while I was somewhere else in the house at the time, probably in the restroom, think, hey man, she hasn't been with anybody in a while. So if you tell her that you love her and you want to be in a relationship, you're in. So go for it. And I asked him if he said anything to my friend while he was over, and he indeed said, yes, I did. So I don't know if he was thinking that he was going to take my little sister's boyfriend's advice and have things happen and then find out that it wasn't actually true because I don't work like that, and then backpedaled. So that was a very confusing and frustrating situation because he was a nice-looking young man. Yes, he was a writer/model. So yeah, that was the last frustrating situation that I've been through. I have a few of them, so I just, thought I'd kind of put that out there and maybe hear some commentary on that. I don't know. I think it's pretty whack myself. I think I handled the situation in the right way, but I just, the honesty and the communication is important, and it's something that seems to be lacking. I feel that most people are just out there doing whatever they're doing just to get laid, or just out of desperation because they're too afraid to be alone. And I think that that's wrong, and I think we need to work on that. And that's something else I may address in another video. But until then, this is your friendly neighborhood Shay, signing out.